Arkansas became the only state since 2000 to execute 2 men in the same day. Arkansas Department of Corrections administered lethal injection cocktails to Jack Jones, 52, 7:06 p.m., and then a Marcel Williams, 48, at 7:20 p.m. There are people out there who, after doing a little research, I realized how many people support the death penalty. I thought that there were more people who did not support it. And yes, it's on a decline. In the last 40 years, we're at the lowest level of favorability or people who support the death penalty in the United States. But it's still like 49 to 42. And then there are people who are undecided. And this is based on a polling that I read, and I tweeted about it. See, here's how the death penalty support breaks out amongst demographics. The people who are typically support death penalty are 1, male, 2, white, 3, Republican. Though that group makes up the majority of people in this country who support the death penalty, people who don't support the death penalty are 1, female, 2, black, 3, Democrat. These are the people who are least likely to support the death penalty, followed by black men, Latino women, Latino men, white women, white men. And it breaks down right along the Democratic and Republican line there. And independents are more split on the issue. But it's not even close when it comes to Republicans. I mean, for our Republican brothers and sisters out there, man, it's like 70% of them support death penalty. Now, I'm going to make it clear, guys, that I'm one of these guys. I'm a person who, once upon a time, used to say, yeah, get rid of them, death penalty. You got to do it, an eye for an eye. But as I became educated about how our death penalty is handed down, as I became educated on the facts, the numbers, the stats of how we administer death, and how basically just the way our justice system works, once you know how it works, once you really know, gosh, I don't believe that most people, because I believe that most people are good-natured people who are not bloodthirsty, are not unfair. There's no way you can support it. But what America does very well is hide information about important issues to control how you feel about it. There is absolutely no correlation between the death penalty and deterring people from crime. Neither are lengthy prison sentences, because typically people who commit crimes are desperate, at the bottom of whatever. They're willing to throw their lives on the line at that point. And I can't support the death penalty. I won't support it. Because I have information, because I know that if you are poor, you're likely to die. If you are black, you're even more likely to die. If you're Latino, you're more likely to die. And if you are a white guy with a little bit of money, you will not die. How could you support a system that you can see that anywhere you Google it, anywhere you analyze it, anywhere you study the research, look at the ACLU research studies, you look at, there's so many studies out there that show you that it's all economics. It's all about how good the lawyer is. It's all about what the judge was feeling. It's all about not having racists or bigots, or it's about people on the juries. It's so many screwed up moving pieces to the death penalty that I can't support it. So all I can say, guys, is that I know it's difficult to not support the death penalty when you hear these horrific acts that happen, the taking of life, like both of these men. I'm not saying both of these men should be let out or should have been let out and were allowed to skip around your neighborhood. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is, if these guys had money, they would not be in a situation where they were going to be put to death. That's what I'm trying to tell you. And as long as money or skin color could prevent one person from getting the same punishment as another, then it's unjust. And if you're against that in one case, you have to be against it in all, because it's a systemic problem. Justice. As long as you support justice and you fight for justice, it doesn't matter who the people are. You will always be on the right side. My condolences to the families of the victims of these two men who did take life. But my condolences to the families of these two men who, if they had money, probably be alive today. And to me, that's a crime as well.